I'm gonna come to the East Coast. I'm gonna be in Boston for a while, and yeah, we're definitely. I love the dynamic that her town has and that her family has, and I've always been. I want to be close to that, and then too, I'm from the East Coast, so a lot of my friends are over there, and it's time for me to. I'm gonna have my house in Houston, but I'm also gonna come over there, and we're gonna make it work.
Would you do me the honor and share this cannoli with me? I'm a lady in the trumpet.
Come on 3, ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
It was pretty evident how I felt, as soon as she got out of the limo, But, I think the main thing was her personality was amazing. And that's what drew me in.
I think it was in his eye contact and his body language when I got out. You could tell there was a bit of an instant spark, but he calmed my nerves more than I thought he would, and he was a lot taller and a lot more handsome in person.
And she knew I was nervous too, so she calmed my nerves too.
I like your personality, and you're beautiful.
Stop, come here.
I think night one, I felt a connection, and we definitely were attracted to each other. But I know that on our one-on-one date in Scotland, when we shared our story with each other, I was looking for that emotional connection. And I feel like that's where it started, right there. And then we slowly but surely just kept growing and growing, and conversation after conversation, we just continued to get to know each other. And yeah, it was off to the races from there.
Truthfully, I think in the little conversations we had leading up to Scotland, I started to feel really secure that you were the man that I was hoping you would be. And then in Scotland, I think it really just solidified that I was allowed to kind of be vulnerable and be met with such compassion that I think that's when I knew. I was like, okay, I'm locked in.
Locked in.
It feels like, I could be falling in love with you.
Well, you make me so happy, and I want you to know that I feel very strongly about you too.
I think that coming from the background I came from and some of the things that I've been through in my life, I always look for somebody who was rooted in just solid and real, and somebody who didn't take any mess and who was so sure of themselves that they were going to stay the same through any situation. And I found that in Juliana. I found that in how she handled herself and how she wasn't afraid to speak her mind and how she didn't care what anybody thought. She was going to stick up for what she believed in. And that's something that was monumental for me. And that's what really had me like, wow, this is a one-in-a-lifetime person that I'm meeting.
Before actually even coming on the show, he did an interview where he talked about, his relationship with your dad. And I think it was hearing that he had kind of been through some darkness, but really saw love at the forefront of that. And that to me meant he was a compassionate man that just really wanted to put his heart out there and see everything through love. And that was true when I first met you, and through all of our conversations. It was just the way he really listened to me. I could tell he had a big heart, and you do. So
Yeah.
That's what drew me in. A funny story is I just feel like for some reason everything fell into place with my sister signing me up and feeling like I had such a good backing from my family, and then finding out it was you, and he was number one on my list of who I was hoping it would be. And then the instant connection that we had, I had no doubts. I think I knew from night one that you were my man, but I was just trying to play the game and be, fair and open-minded. So it's more fear than it was doubts.
I could see Juliana being my wife.
You're a very special type of man that not many people come across in their lifetime.
I think that really Grant gave me so much grace in the slow pace that I needed to express, how I was really feeling, because I was grappling with it in my own head. And meeting his family was such a big step, and they all were so amazing, and I felt right at home, just like I did with him. And so for me, I was like, okay, you know what? Not only do I love this man, but I really love his family. And, you shocked me a little bit when you said you loved me after we met your family, because I wasn't anticipating it to happen in that very moment. But at the same time, it was so great that it happened that way, because it just really made me blurt it right back out. And I felt really good after I did it, and I felt like a weight off of my shoulders that I could really just live in that truth now.
first of all, when you meet somebody's family, it's a pivotal moment. And, just relying on my mom and my dad's advice, I felt like it was the time to say it, because if not then, I needed to let her know how I felt about her. With an important decision coming up and her just meeting my family. And, my mom talked to me and my dad, and they really pushed me to say how I feel. And I felt like in that moment, that was the right decision. My family, we haven't always been in unison, but it's a moment like that where everybody comes together and they support me and, they support the decision I make. I think that it meant everything. It was a moment that I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life. So.
I love two women.
It's an impossible decision.
I said to myself that morning, I just had to reread something that my mom wrote for me. And it said, if it's meant to be, it will be. And if not, that's okay too. And I really tried to stay confident that, it was me. And even if it wasn't, I was going to be okay. But I don't know, I felt really positive and I felt really excited that it was going to be me. And even walking up to you, I said to myself, I'm like, if he kisses me, like, because you always did that, right? When I saw you, if he kisses me right away, I know it's me. And you did that. And I think that was like almost me asking for that reassurance, that sign, and it was delivered. And then I had no problem giving my really long speech. It's so nerve-wracking. You know that the journey's come to an end and you just don't know what your fate is at that point, getting out of the car and showing up. But I just tried to stay calm. I really did, and just think to myself, like, I will be okay no matter what. But it was the kiss that I was like, all right, I'm fine, I can breathe now.
Honestly, it screams jewels. Like, it literally, from the gold to the baguettes on the side to just the flare, of the ring, I think that it was, the right choice. And
I told you I wanted gold.
Yeah, you're like,
I did.
So the ring just speaks to our relationship. It's funky, it's unique, it's fresh, but it also symbolizes love and commitment. And it's possible to have both. You could be somebody who, for say, loves to dance or loves music or, listens to Pop Smoke or Frank Sinatra, but you also could want love. Love doesn't look a certain way. So I feel like that's why I picked the most unique ring that I could.
I love that he listened really well to the gold and to, I think the cut was exactly what I was hoping for. I've never really even looked at engagement rings. I've just seen all my friends getting engaged and kind of just gauging my preference off of that. So I didn't really have a super clear vision when we kind of talked about it. I just knew I wanted gold and I knew I wanted something big, but not too big. And he hit the nail on the head. It was amazing. I was definitely more excited to say yes than to actually put like the ring on my finger, because I was like, oh my gosh, you are my person. I'm keeping you, and this is like the second prize. But it was cool. It was really fun.
We continue to learn new things, but the most important thing for me was our relationship and how we understand each other, from us spending time alone to, maybe not letting everybody into our life, to having that support in each other. And I feel like that's what makes our relationship that strong. And it's a testament to, why I felt the way I did and why I made the decision I did, and ultimately why she chose me as well, because I could have got on my knee that final day and she could have said no. So we chose each other, and I think that's the most important thing out of this, is that we chose each other.
Yeah, and we're still gonna learn so much more about each other. I think like living together will be a whole new thing. We've had a couple of trips together where we've kind of just realized we both like to just chill and hang out and have a good time. I think that's not hard to see on the show either, but when you actually get all the cameras gone and the production of it gone, and you just get to sit and hang out and still kind of enjoy each other's company, I think we'll never stop learning about each other, and I think that's really the coolest part about it.
And I'm a decent cook too.
Oh yeah.
I'm all right.
No, you're really good. He's really good, and I'm not. I know that after the live finale, you have to go home to get some things squared away. I do have to kind of get myself back on track with work, and then, shortly after, I think you're gonna come on out to Boston, and we'll take a peek at some apartments and see what our vibe is like and where we want to be. South End, Back Bay area, we'll just poke around.
I think that we are taking it one day at a time. Ultimately that's the goal.
Yeah.
But right now we are learning each other, and we're falling more in love with each other every day. So, when the time is right, we're gonna handle it, and we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna have a really fun wedding. But for now, we are in step, and we're in unison, and we're learning, and we're loving, and we're taking it day by day.
Yeah, there's so many things we have to just do before that. Not saying that we couldn't do them after, a wedding, but I just feel like we want to live life together for a minute. We want to take it all in and meet each other's friends and travel and do all of that. And all those things obviously require money, and a wedding is a big thing. And, there's so many people we have to meet that it makes sense to them why we would be getting married. Not that it really matters what anybody else thinks, but family's so important. I want them all to have an opportunity to see you, see us, and just have it make sense to everybody.
I think one thing that we could both unanimously agree on is that we are people that we really value our inner circle. Mm-hmm. And, a wedding for us, although an extravagant wedding and a beautiful wedding is great, which we're going to have that, I think the main thing is we just want the people there that love us and that know us and that stand with us, that ride with us. I think that's the main thing. And yeah, it probably is going to be in Italy. So
yeah, it's definitely going to be in Italy.
Yeah, listen, we're going to live it up. We're going to live it up. There's going to be wine, there's going to be family, and it's going to be life, a celebration of life. And that's our personality. I feel like we love to do that.
Yeah, we love a good reason to party, and and we certainly will.
Right.
I think one of the most important things that I really learned to be true about you through this whole process is the way that you listen to understand. You don't listen to respond or react. And that's really important. I feel just so seen and heard and valued when I'm talking to you or around you, that I think that those are types of qualities that are so important in a relationship, and especially in a marriage. I don't know, you always meet me with such compassion and love, and you really are my hype man, and I think
I'm always going to be that.
Yeah, and I just think that those are such important things, There's going to be so many highs, but there's going to be so many lows, and you need somebody you feel confident with, and will be there for you no matter what, and that's you.
I think the most important thing is Jules' heart, her heart. I think that I'm looking, I was looking for somebody with compassion and somebody with character, and I found that. And I think that, everything else is great, but it's what's inside that counts, and that's what I found. So I have no doubt in my mind that she's an amazing person, that she's gonna make an amazing wife. And I'm excited, and I think we understand each other to our core. Mm-hmm. And sometime, eventually the time we spend together, I want to get to a place where I understand how she feels, and she doesn't have to tell me, and I feel like ultimately, when we started this journey, and as I got to know her, I feel like we can get to that place because we have a similar way that we view things, So.
Yeah, I feel like we have a tendency to respond to certain things similarly. So it makes sense when he does certain things, because it's I don't even need you to tell me where your head's at. I feel like I know that, but with what you just said, there's so many different obstacles and happy moments in life that we have so much more to know, to really know.
To really know.
Yeah, what you're thinking without saying, yeah.
I'm just looking forward to me on my end. I want to just support her. I want to be the person that she could count on without a doubt, that she knows I'm going to lay myself down for her and support her. I think that's the most important thing. Her knowing that she has somebody in her corner, that's going to, obviously her father is going to be, always be there. Yeah. And he's been there his whole life, and, and her family and her mother, but that she also has somebody in her corner that's going to step up and going to think about her first. So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's sweet. I think it's something that really matters the most to me in terms of a relationship and even friendships too. It's you're being loved by choice, and you're loving somebody by choice. You don't have to. You know, I think family's different. I've been blessed to have, you know, a really awesome family life and a big extended family where we don't fight, you know, and if we do, it's makeup because, you know, Christmas is around the corner and we're all getting together. So it doesn't matter what your differences are, but with friends and with relationships, it's by choice. And to have somebody continuously love you by choice and choose you over and over, everybody deserves that. And I'm most excited to experience that every single day.